Hey guys, how's it going? We know that there's a lot of hype around social media and all the other platforms out there in regards to your business and how you're getting the word out about what you want to do. Now, Instagram is definitely one of the largest platforms with over 100 million users, and it's a piece of the Facebook ecosystem, so there's a lot of reason to pay attention to it. Now, Facebook is a great place to share what's going on, but Instagram has a real focus on visual discovery, on how you see things and experience those things. Instagram is really built around sharing those moments and experiences with the world. Together, your Facebook and your Instagram account, those account for about 1 in 5 minutes that the average American person spends on their mobile device. And so the great part about using Instagram for your business is that you get to rely not only on Instagram's data, but also the immense data that Facebook has when you go about advertising on that platform. And there's a one unified advertising management system that links the two together. But before we dive into advertising on Instagram, let's take a look at some of the basics. So go ahead and log on to Instagram, and once you've got your account created and you're logged in, when you open up Instagram, you'll see your home feed. And much like Facebook, you can kind of scroll through your timeline and you'll see updates from accounts that you follow. Now, these aren't in chronological order. They use an algorithm just like Facebook to show you what they think is most relevant to you. And you can comment on each of those posts, or you can double tap the post and leave a heart, which is basically the same as a like on Facebook. And the main difference is that all the posts on Instagram and in this feed that you're looking at are videos or pictures. There's no links, there's no plain text, there's no news articles or blogs. There's also no share function that's readily available on Instagram either. So that makes it a little bit different than Facebook, but for the vast majority, it should seem pretty familiar in that timeline fashion. So now you can click on a profile name or an image of a certain account, and you'll pull up that account and you can see all their posts that they've done. Pretty straightforward, right? So we'll get back here to the home screen, and you can check out the bar along the bottom. You can click on the magnifying glass to search for a specific account or discover content from accounts that Instagram thinks you might like. Then the third button on the bottom is the plus sign. Here's where you can make a post of your own. You can choose between photos or videos you've already taken, or you can snap one of your own right from the app. You'll have a few options to edit it, add your comments, and add hashtags to the post as well. Hashtags are a really great way to kind of expand your audience, because everybody else who's looking for things related to coffee could type in hashtag coffee, and they'll see all posts related to coffee, not just the ones that they follow. And you'll notice that you can't provide links in your post. Now that's a little bit different than Facebook, but you can provide a link in your profile bio. So in your profile description, you can drop a link in there, and if you have a single target link, then you can just in the post say find the link in my bio, and that's sounds a little bit unusual, but it's actually pretty common in the Instagram world to do. So don't be scared to do that to get people over to your site. Now there's a fourth button on the bottom bar back from the home screen, and that's the heart. And you can see notifications on here when people like your comment. You can see the comments they leave on your content, and you'll be able to see any new followers that show up. So click over to the following on the top of that screen, and you can see the latest activity from accounts that you follow. And finally, there's a little person button on the far right at the bottom, and that's where you can find your account information. And that should either show up as a person, or it'll be your profile picture. And from there you can see your account, you can edit your profile, and again see all of the posts that you've recently done. So let's jump back here to the home page. You'll notice several circles on the top of the page, all the way at the top of the timeline. If you need to jump all the way to the top, just click the home page button again. And those stories, those circles are called stories. And now this is a feature that's pretty commonly accepted that is meant to mimic the popular Snapchat feature that is also called stories. Now when you post to stories, that image or that video will be there for about, it can only last about 10 seconds, and it'll only be available to your followers for about 24 hours, and then it disappears. And so you can also superimpose text and stickers to these pieces as well. Now, the value of the stories feature is that you can post more kind of raw, unedited, and non-evergreen content because it doesn't stick around forever. It'll just be there for 24 hours to your followers. You can also post much more without inundating all of your followers' news feeds with millions of posts. Nobody wants to feel like they're being spammed in their timeline by seeing a ton of posts all the time. So this is a great way for you to post multiple times a day without inundating your followers. Now that might seem a little bit strange or new, especially if you're used to the Facebook experience, but that kind of ephemeralness of the stories feature, the kind of the fleeting nature of that post is it mimics much more how we actually experience memories and how we actually share stories with our friends. And so in that sense, it actually is kind of more native and more familiar to us in the long run, or compared to real life. So even though it seems a little bit different than Facebook, it's actually very much more interesting. So those are some of the basic features of Instagram, and we'll come back here for the next part of this series, and we'll talk about using Instagram for business. All right, thanks guys. See you soon.